Hi and welcome to another how-to video. My name's Ditech, CTO at DVS, and today we're going to take a look at the new IDS-TCM high performance ANPR camera. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and all our social media platforms, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever they are. Make sure you follow us, like us, comment, same with the videos, the how-to videos. So the IDS-TCM camera is the next level high performance ANPR camera from Hikvision. So this is the IDS ANPR camera. So it's got a lot of weight to it. That's, you know, a good 3-4 kilograms. You can see the 3 IR LEDs there. Again, two models, two varifocal models, motorized zoom lens. So that will be fitted on there like that. You can see much more ruggedized operation. Base plate with safety chain gets mounted to the pole or wherever. All your cables are there, so you've got your alarm inputs, outputs, power, network connection, etc. It comes with all the accessories in the box, screws and glands and everything else. It has a nice sunshade which sits on top of it. Hey, and it also comes with the multi-point top mount adapter. So there's a lot of ways of configuring this. I've just bolted mine straight to a wall, straight to the pole even, so that is fitted straight to my Ultron column, about 6 meters high. Again, we do two lens sizes, like the older 4-line camera with the 2 lens sizes. We've got 2 versions of that, 15 and 30 meters recognition distance as well. This one is a much faster and higher performance. So not only is it more accurate, but it can tell us if no plate is detected. It can also tell us color and make of vehicle. Although I will point out the color and make of vehicle is being worked on, so there is some performance uplift required in that, but it is getting there again. And the accuracy is vitally important in traffic. It's part of the ITS, the Intelligent Traffic Solution setup. So this is the IDS-TCM203 model, powered by 24 volt DC. There's also a brand new 403 model, so it's a 4 megapixel, which will come to do 3 lanes. That is a 2-lane model, so you'll see a switch from the 203 to the 403. Essentially it's exactly the same engine, it's just the higher resolution, so more lanes, better accuracy. So I'm going to show you quickly where mine's fitted, and I'm going to web browse into it, show you some settings, and then you can also see the performance of me last night. I came back from Italy last night. I came past the office about 1:30 because I thought what better time to test the ANPR performance than at night at 1:30 in the morning. There was nobody around. I put the massive light bar on my monster truck on, drove through it, so I went through it without the light bar, with the light bar on, to see if I could blind the camera at all. And if you've seen my light bar, it's blinding. The camera's still detected perfectly fine. You'll see that performance shortly through a video. Also with a bike cyclist went through, no plate detected, and also captured the image for reference. So I'm going to take you outside, show you that, and then we'll go jump inside. See you in 2 secs. There we go, so that's our Ultron column. The Ultron column's nearly 9 meters high. The ANPR camera itself is fitted about 6.5 meters high. So height is of some importance, but you can see we've even got it at 6 meters and it performs well. If I take you round, you can see the actual road that it's detecting on. So that is the road there. So it's detecting about 30 meters distance away from the camera. So I'm going to take you back inside now, show you the performance, and I hope you'll agree it's bloody marvellous. Okay, thanks for joining us again. We've web browsed into the actual camera interface. You can see it's slightly older. It's the older style interface. We're gonna see if I can remember my password. Yes, I can. If it's the first time you web log into it, it will ask you to update the ICTP web components. It's the traffic web components. As you can see there, that's the main road that we were capturing, that I took you outside to. So it's fitted about 6 meters high. Looking between this pavement and this pavement, the detection area is around here with the mouse. So you can see it is the 203 model we're testing here. The 403, has just been released and is PoE. This one is 24 volt DC only. So a couple of things to bear in mind. So under configuration, we'll start off with the first menu. So you've got reboot, soft, all the normal setups. What you'll find with this traffic solution camera is there's two parts of the firmware. So part one is the ALG file. So what you do is you import the configuration file first. So you browse to it, import the ALG file, and then you do the digicap.dav file and upgrade. So it's a two-part update process, just for anyone who needs to know. So you import the ALG, then do the digicap.dav file. That's the first part. So moving on to the system configuration. So under device information, you'll see basic information. So model number, firmware version of the digicap file. And then you'll see the ALG, which is the algorithms library performance data. So the version and build there. So we can update that as and when needed. Installation parameters. So I've set the lens type as around 25mm. Zoomed in. The installation height is around 6 meters, and then you can fill these other parameters in as needed. Not all of them are actually needed, but we fill them in, the best as we can to our knowledge. Serial ports, I don't have anything connected by a serial port. TCP IP, don't have anything connected other than, well, I have got it connected to an NVR, Hike Central, IMS 5200 parking, so yeah, quite a bit actually, and the web browser. So I've set a static IP address. I don't have ANPR IP port listening devices. They're so expandable and such a configurable device that you can bolt them into different scenarios. Therefore, we need different menu options for those scenarios. We're using this purely to record to an NVR, so I've got it linked to an iSeries NVR, I've got it linked to Hike Central and to IMS 5200 ANPR parking management software to test all three. Works really, really well on all three. So I've set the IP information as needed. Ports, so I've set the relevant ports. HTTPS, I can use HTTPS if I want. Time, I've set it to manual synchronization. Traffic parameters, now I'm not going to enable that because it's not something I'm using specifically. Then we got service part, so enable user lock and SSH service, and then the DST time. Encoding and storage, so you set your main and substream parameters there, and if you click on advanced, it expands it a bit, so you can set these as required. This is a 2 megapixel model. I say the 403 is a 4 megapixel model. Image encoding, so it's 1080p for the capture resolution. Region of interest, ROI. Record schedule, that's if you're using the SD card slot within the camera. The SD card slot will take 128 gigabyte SD card, and we can actually set it to record to the SD card. I'm not going to use it for recording to the SD card. I do have an SD card in there. So two things to bear in mind. One, you can record the video to the SD card, but you can also, it's called redundant storage. So the next menu along is called redundant storage. So I have an SD card in there. When it's connected to a software package, IMS 5200 parking or Hike Central, the data isn't saved on the SD card because it's saved on the software instead. Redundant means when it's not connected to the software. So if I disconnected it from the software, but I did leave it just say connected to an NVR, the plate data, the captured images, will save to the SD card and will be available to download from the picture menu there. But as I say, they are sent, because they're online and connected to the software, it won't record to the SD card and the software currently. We are working on a new firmware that will record to both regardless, because I do think it's beneficial to have it in both locations at both times. So that is being worked on. But that's what the redundant storage is. And we've also got the FTP menu. So I'm not using FTP, but if you enable that, you fill all the FTP details in as necessary. So text overlay, a lot more data we can put in there. So from the capture picture overlay, we set our parameters as needed there, and we can actually enable all of these and move them in the position needed. So these move around these boxes, so you can overlay them as needed around the image, and they're all the different types of OSD text we can enable and colors, etc. And the same with the video. We can set the OSD name, which we have there. So I've just set it to the camera name, move the text around and put our own different ones in there. We can also display milliseconds if necessary. Application mode. Currently, the only application mode on this version is smart mode. We are putting entrance exit mode in there where we can put a trigger line across there. So as a car goes over that line, it will initiate the trigger mode. It's probably more relevant for queuing cars, so they're already captured at that time instead of multiple captures. And then we can set the total lane. So I can have 3 lanes on this. At this distance, at this height, 2 lanes work really well. 3 is really pushing it. Say the 403 does support the 3 lanes, so no problem there. So again, we set our lanes. We set motor vehicle only or all for capture type. All is like the pedestrian with the bike, etc., with no plate. Or if we're only specifically interested in motor vehicles, we select motor vehicles. We can set the lane direction if necessary. We don't have to, but we can if we like. And draw rule lines is how we move these around. Click on that, and it's how we move these lines around for our capture parameters. Click on OK, and we're done. And we'll click Save. So always click Save whenever you adjust something. Capture parameters. Okay, so you can have different lights connected to it, whether it's white light or IR. We're not using external lighting connected to this, but you can see that's how I set it by default, and you can see the IO 1, 2, and 3, and you can see they're all set like that. So if you want to pause it, if you are connecting lights to it, external lighting, you can set it like that. Okay, so you can pause the video to copy those settings. The vehicle feature, I've enabled vehicle color recognition and enable car logo recognition. So again, we are working on to improve that in the UK. It does work really well in other countries. It does work okay in the UK, but there is some improvement needed, as you'll see later on. You'll also see that the vehicle logo and color recognition only work properly in daytime, or if the color, if there's a lot of light at night, like white light around, and the camera is in color. We can't tell the car make and color when it's black and white, as you'll see shortly. Okay, moving on. So image parameters. Now, depends on the installation scenario and environment. These may change. This is how it works really well for me. So if you want to screenshot it and start off with these settings and then work your way from there, or ask us and we can offer some advice. Enable night black and white mode. I've enabled that, so at night it is in black and white. There's the video settings. So the shutter speed is down to 2000. There's the picture. So enable license plate enhancement. And there's the infrared cut filter settings. So that's how I've set mine. It works really well. Say you can pause it and copy those settings, or you may feel that you need to tweak yours due to the application or scenario that it's installed in. But again, ask us if you need. Entrance exits. So we can add the white and black list within the vehicle, within the camera itself. So I can add a vehicle in. So LN68 LXD. Belong to Blacklist, card number, effective start and finish time. Click on OK. So my car, I can directly input that, and then you can have events based on that then, or you can export, import, etc., or I can just delete them all. So there's a, similar with the 4-line and 7-line ANPR cameras that are coming out. You've got the whitelist, blacklist function directly supported within the camera itself. Exceptions, so they're the hard drive errors, network disconnected, etc. And then you can enable one and then tell it what it does based on what you want it to do, the event type. And then user management, so that's where you want to add or delete users or modify users directly to access the camera. So good point to mention is we also sell a telematics unit, a Nexus box developed by Peter Billington, God bless him, thank you very much. It's a 3G, 4G router that enables these cameras to be connected directly into this Nexus box, which then connect directly into the police back office, BOF2, and the UTMC protocols, etc. So if you've got a system like the police back end or a specific system you want to connect this if you're in traffic or surveillance and you've got a specific need, speak to us. We can actually probably tweak the protocols if they don't already exist and get this camera directly talking to your system. We're already doing it for a few customers, and I'm sure there's been no problem getting it done for you should the need arise. Again, thanks very much, Peter Billington. Thought I'd give you a mention. You are a doctor of ANPR and a very clever man, so thank you very much. So, again, this camera has been tested by several police forces, ongoing tests, and they are hopefully going to start rolling this out. That's how good this camera is. Again, with the text overlay, what we can show with a single picture overlay on the capture, we can actually enable sort of the overlay plate close-up. So you'll see from the plate, you'll have a static image of the car passing, but a cropped plate overview, which is up in the left-hand corner. So all of these added tools, compared to a standard ANPR camera, really allow that added flexibility to start building up the system to a professional traffic solution. So, back to live view. So that's sort of it. I know it's quite long-winded, but really we needed to show you all those different menus. Under picture, no picture, because I said they're talking to back-end systems, so nothing is currently stored. But if it was only talking to an NVR or just a standalone product, all of your static captured images would be in there. So what I have done earlier on is gone into, this is the folder I did earlier. So these are the captures I did last night. So if I show you when I came past about 1:30. So like I said, the camera is able to capture, so it's caught a cyclist with no plate. So it doesn't know it's a cyclist as such. It's saying plate unknown. So it's captured that cyclist going through the camera. And it's made us aware that that could be a road that we're not allowed pedestrians or cyclists on. So you can then get that as an event, or go back through the historical footage, and you may know who it is, or you may be able to change the layout with the site or the motorway to stop that from happening, or put additional safety measures in place. So it's just an additional tool. Again, there's him going through the camera. So that's me last night. You can see there the plate. When I said the LN68 LXD, when it crops the plate in the top left-hand corner, there it is. There's the back of my vehicle there. You can clearly see it. And it is saying Ford this time. It is a Ford Ranger. It's light black in colour, but it's only because it's dark, it sees the vehicle as black. If it was red, it would report it as black anyway. It's saying 8:38. It was at 1:38 this morning this happened. The time is wrong because it was set to Beijing time. Somebody's been messing around with it while I was in Italy. But I can assure you it was at 1:38 this morning. Again, moving on. So I came through it this morning. Again, this high intensity LED light bar, I turned it on with my full beams, all my spotlights, tried to blind the camera as much as I could, and you can see there LN68 LXD cropped, and you can see no problem. It has read the vehicle as a Porsche this time, and like I said, it doesn't really work at night. But even with the high intensity light bar, it's still reading that absolutely fine, and you'll agree that performance is really good. That would probably throw most cameras off. And again, me coming back around, I came through a few times. There we go. So that's all I wanted to show you on there. And then that is in the day, so that's me coming through in the day. So that's the LED light bar there. You can see it has caught it. So it's saying light blue and it's saying a Ford, and that's the crop plate image there. So you can see it works very, very well. You can see the video. I wasn't taking it sort of any time. Open with Windows Media Player. This should be a video of me going through. Oh, we need VS Player. Okay, so I've opened the VS Player. I've opened the one that allows all of the files. So you can see this will be me coming through. No, it's the cyclist. So you can see that's the video associated with it. Hurry up, Mr. Cyclist. Again, where's the one of me? That's me going out. That's me coming in. Me going out. Me going out again, doing the rounds. You can see that's me with the high intensity light bar again. And then that's me from this morning coming in. 6:30, not 1 o'clock because of the time difference. So there we go. So that is the ANPR camera, an overview of it, a quick overview. Sorry if it took too long, but you need to go through all of these features to sell the benefits of it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to your comments and your feedback. As always, thank you so much for all the comments, likes, shares, suggestions you guys make. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week for the next how-to video. Thanks very much. See you later. Take care.